With the budget bill containing provisions for the executive to ignore court orders, wouldn't that violate separation of powers? And what could be done when or if it passes? Now, this is actually a fairly easy one for the courts to handle, because there is something in this country, in the Constitution, called judicial review. And yes, that is in fact a part of the separation of powers. So what judicial review means is that if Congress or, a state legislature, whoever, passes a law, the courts do have the authority and the ability given to them by the U.S. Constitution to determine whether or not that law is in fact even legal. The court's job is to make sure that Congress is not overstepping their constitutional authority and, of course, undermining the Constitution. I'll give you an example of that. If, say, Congress passed a law saying guns are illegal forever, the courts would immediately be like, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, you're a body of the government, but just because you want to do that doesn't mean you can. We have an amendment to the Constitution that says shall not be infringed. So no, your law banning all guns is immediately unconstitutional. Law is thrown out. That's judicial review. So with this clause in the bill saying, nope, the administration cannot be held accountable for defying court orders, Congress does not have the authority to limit the authority of the court system. So the way to undo it, of course, will be if this law passes with this passage in there, immediately file a lawsuit saying, hey, this is unconstitutional. Congress cannot dictate who the courts can or cannot punish. That one's probably going to go to the Supreme Court because Congress doesn't want to be overturned. Trump doesn't want to be overturned. And the Supreme Court is most likely, even with their conservative majority, going to say, no, you can't do that. You don't have the authority in the Constitution to limit the constitutional authority of the court system. Struck down. Now, whether or not that strikes down the entire law, or if they say just that part of it is not enforceable, that'll remain to be seen at the time. I typically don't think they're going to strike down the entire budget bill, but it would be absolutely hilarious if they did.